Good morning, everybody, and how y'all doing today? Hope you're having a fantastic day. This is Monday morning. What is it? The 16th of February, 2015. I was laying in bed last night. My wife and I were talking about 9/11 and when it happened, and I thought back and went through this idea in my head. I said, 9/11 was 15 years ago almost. I was just, wow. It's just utterly unbelievable. I mean, I remember I was like 23 years old. I was just getting ready to go work. I was doing roofing back then. And I remember my friend and I went to his house to meet him to go to work, and we were just like watching the TV, just dumbfounded. I mean, it was like, holy shit. And I remember we went to work to prove a point. We were doing that whole American thing, Americans stuck together, yada yada. And when I thought about the time, how it had been 15 years since it happened, I thought back to when I was in high school, 1992, let's say, when I went into high school, or 1990, sorry. I thought back to 1990, and I thought from there, I remember thinking as a teenager, I remember thinking how long ago it seemed like the Vietnam War was from my life. My father fought in Vietnam, but it seemed like just ages ago. But it ended the year I was born. And it wasn't that long ago at all. But it was my perspective as a teenager, as a kid, that it had been forever since the Vietnam War. So my first, thought was that all the kids of today that are going into high school, it must seem like it was just forever ago that 9/11 happened. And during the Vietnam War, it must have seemed like forever since the Korean War. And before that, it was forever since World War II and World War I, and back and back and back. And really all these things can be consolidated into little like decades of war, decades of attack, decades of chaos. But it all happened so quickly. Even though it seems like it was forever ago. It was just yesterday to those who were there, and to those who lived through it, even those who lived completely across the nation during 9/11. I mean, it's a time in my life that I will never forget. A time when I saw Americans coming together in a way that I'd never seen before and I've never seen since. And I keep a little cracked smile on the side of my face just thinking about if the shit hits the fan. If chaos ensues in this planet, in this nation, I have faith that people will stick together. I know a lot of people think that folks will be running around like Mad Max and looting and stealing, and that's true. But for the most part, people will stick together, and people will, create communities, and, nobody wants tyranny. We can fight against each other when we have the time to fight against each other, which is right now. We have all this extra time to argue with each other, but when it becomes us against it, say us against nature, or us against another person, another group trying to oppress us, that's when we really come together. This is why I see Americans coming together. Not for the sake of being Americans, but for the sake of being people in a free nation that want to express their values and interests. And when we don't have an enemy to fight, we fight amongst each other and ourselves, and it's pretty pathetic. But all those little disagreements fall by the wayside when something bigger happens. So, anyway, just wanted to point that out, it wasn't that long ago. It really wasn't. What's coming next?